So yesterday, the finale for Andor dropped. So today, I thought it was time for me to stop and talk about Andor Season 1. Please know that everything that I will say in this video is just my very own opinion. My name is SWNation, and you are free to comment down below your very own opinion on Andor Season 1. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter. That's going to pop up on my screen right now. And also, happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. I hope you guys are eating well and such. And yeah, this is a show that people are calling a new hope for Star Wars. So this is going to be different from my other review slash rants because it is Thanksgiving. I didn't want to do an episode breakdown. So with that being said, the first half of this video is not going to be an episode breakdown. Let's get that out of the way. That being said, like, comment, subscribe, and let's get right into our review. Andor was a show that was on my radar, but I wasn't excited for it at all until the show started to come out. So with that being said, let's move right into the good. And the good thing that comes to mind here is that this show is totally different from anything Star Wars has ever done before, combining an excellent blend of incredible writing and a plot that you can get invested in. The setting of this show is small scale, but has big implications for the rest of the Star Wars canon going forward, as it is a prequel to Rogue One 5 years earlier, telling the last 5 years of Andor's life. Like I said, the setting of the show is small scale, using CGI in a very cool way that never takes you out of the mindset that this show is actually 90% practical on real locations. I don't think I ever noticed them using the stagecraft technology that they used on Boba Fett, that they used on Obi-Wan and Mandalorian. I don't think I ever saw the cracks of them using that technology. Most likely, I think they probably did, but 90% of the show is practical locations, built set pieces. So when you see them out there in a field or in a town, you feel like you're there because they actually are there on location. Is not a green screen, and you just felt the atmosphere drastically change from wide landscaped deserts to cramped and claustrophobic towns. The decision to break up the season into 3-episode arcs was one of the greatest ideas he could ever do, because it feels like we're watching 4 small TV specials, and each arc moves Andor closer to his goals, but also shows a different side of the galaxy, showing how the little guy reacts to the Empire. The Justice League cartoon actually did this, whereas they broke up each episode into like 3-episode arcs or 2-episode arcs. So you actually have little mini movies inside of your season. So it's not like a 6-episode thing where like, oh man, I wish I had more. This just feels like a 2-hour movie stretched to 6 hours. It feels like an actual story, and each arc feels like its own mini story that contributes to the rest of the plot. This is the war side of Star Wars, giving us a more dramatic tone and tenseful action, as sometimes it genre blends from a spy thriller, or to a heist, or to a prison break. All of it is different and works for what they set out to make. We also have some new characters here, but also some returning characters from Rogue One. And I like the fact that the conversations, the dialogue, are all so dramatic and tense, because even though you don't see Palpatine, you don't see Darth Vader, you don't see the big guns inside of the Empire, just seeing stormtroopers walk down the streets, or just seeing Imperial guards walk down the streets, it's tense, it's scary, and you feel like this is a galaxy that is under control. These new characters are coming into Andor's life, making sacrifices and taking risks and suffering the consequences of starting a rebellion, and that's what was making me excited about this show. The fact that in order to start a rebellion, you have to get your hands dirty. It's not just good and bad. It's not just blue and green versus red. It's a gray area in there, whereas good people are doing bad things for the sake of the galaxy. All of it is just profound, thought-provoking stuff. Now, this show isn't all positive, so with that being said, let's move right into the mix. And the mixed thing that comes to mind here is that it's not necessarily a bad thing or a good thing. It's just some observations. The show is 12 episodes long, and week to week, it could be a little bit jarring, because to me, this show works better as a binge, which I think 3 episodes per week would probably be cooler. Now, obviously, everybody can't watch 3 episodes like in one night, but I think 3 episodes per week for 4 weeks for a whole month. So like for the entire month, people would be talking about Andor. I understand stretching it out for 9 weeks was better for them because it kept the conversation going. But also, Andor wasn't doing that well in numbers anyway, not as well as Boba Fett, Mandalorian, and Obi-Wan. It definitely not better than Obi-Wan, but I do think that Andor really could have benefited from having those 3-episode arcs for 1 week. So then you're just watching a full-on TV movie for that week, and then next week, what's the next story? That's contributing to the overall plot. Or just drop all the episodes at once so people will have a chance to binge it. I would recommend you binge the episodes. And the bad thing that comes to mind here, and I hate to say that Andor has some bad things about it. If you saw my tweet, which most likely you didn't, go check out my Twitter. The link is in the description. Like, go follow, you guys. Anyway, the bad thing that comes to mind here is that week to week, it wasn't the greatest for me. I found this show boring at a point because nothing was happening. And the endings just happened. I think it was, episode 4 where the ending just happened. It just like zoomed on Andor's face and then bam, it cut to black. And it's like, it wasn't a full-on ending. The episode with Andy Serkis saying never more than 12, that felt like a conclusion. That felt like an ending. That was a great ending. But even in the finale sense, what the hell was that ending? It was all good. The finale was incredible. It was spectacular. The rise of the rebellion started here. The carnage of Ferrix, the Marva speech, into that last scene. And I was like, what? This is the last episode. Oh, this is the finale. Oh, this is how the finale ends? What? This is really how it ends? Overall, I just found the endings abrupt. While there was a story arc for 3 episodes, the first 2 episodes were always set up. So the finale happened in the 3rd. But unfortunately, for a week-to-week watch, for me, it turned me off from the series for 6 weeks. And while this is a positive, this is also a negative, the fact that it doesn't feel like Star Wars. I won't condemn anybody from just not watching Andor because, like I said, it's the wars of Star Wars. It's not lightsaber battles. We do have some blasters, but it's not flashy action. It doesn't have the iconic Star Wars DNA that you expect from Star Wars. It's more smaller scale, it's more realistic, but it's also more serious and more dramatic and very adult with its themes, its dialogue, all of it. And it's not Star Wars to a lot of people. So I can see how they're turned off from it because it turned me off for 6 weeks. It's a show because it's so different from Star Wars. A lot of people are going to be turned off from it. And last on our negatives, Andor is not the main character. It's his show. It's the 5 years before Rogue One of his life and him meeting characters. But that's just it. He's not the main character. In each arc, he's meeting characters that are leading him or he's inspiring to lead. He is the spark that lights the rebellion around the galaxy. But he is not the main character of each arc. In each arc, he's always meeting with a new group of people. He's always there to service the new characters that are brought inside of the fold. I like that idea, but also that's a bad thing because you don't see much of Andor. I said while I was watching the finale to my friend that I'm 10 minutes into this thing, and I have not seen Andor, not one bit. I'm 12 minutes into this thing, have not seen Andor. I'm almost 20 minutes into this thing, and I still have not seen Cassian. It's just one of those things that's very frustrating. In conclusion, I guess I'm going to talk about the finale now. A nice little rant section in here as well. The finale I thought was pretty great. Like I said in the bad section, it was like 18 minutes before we saw Andor. But I think overall it wrapped up everything. During Marva's funeral, that speech about Marva being afraid how they need to rise against the Empire, I thought that was fantastic because it wasn't fighter jets. It wasn't X-Wings. It wasn't Star Destroyers. It was just stormtroopers, Imperial Guards versus the people. And that's what starts a rebellion. The Jedi don't start the rebellion. It's the people that start the rebellion. And Marva's inspirational speech to the people in Ferrix started the rebellion. They were the spark. Along with Andor, they were the spark that lit the match. So while I'm already in the section, I might as well say it. In conclusion, Andor is one of the best things I've seen from Star Wars. The start of the rebellion is a story that interested me since Disney's Investors Day. And after seeing it, I love it. You can tell that the creators, Tony Gilroy, Diego Luna, were all passionate about bringing this project to life. The performances are great. It's something that's different and a breath of fresh air that doesn't rely on cameos or lightsabers or flashy action. I'm going to give Andor an A and a 9.5 out of 10. And I would say it definitely works better as a binge. And season 2, please come soon. Please come soon. I am ecstatic to see another season of Andor. I really love this show. It's probably the best Star Wars show on Disney Plus. Maybe even cracking Mandalorian. And I love Mandalorian. I think Mandalorian's the best thing Disney Plus has ever put out. Maybe Andor's number 2. Alright guys, that is it for the review/rant. This was a little bit smaller because I was not going to do a whole episode breakdown because today is Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone. But anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter that's going to pop up on your screen right now. And also don't forget to come back later for Star Wars shows ranked. And with that being said, guys, I will see you all next time. Peace.